The reason why most relationships don't last, why most relationships do not get past the 6-month mark, is the crisis of disillusionment. Let me explain what this is. In the beginning, all relationships are fundamentally projected fantasy. In the vast majority of cases, you don't actually know who this other person is. You've spent a few days or even just a few hours together, gleaned a little information, and filled the gaps in your knowledge base in with what you would like to find there. And this is true almost in direct proportion to the degree to which you are attracted to the other person. The more attracted you are, the more likely you're going to fill in the gaps in your knowledge base with positive attributes. This is called the halo effect. This means that if you think she's really hot, and you have no other evidence to the contrary, you're also liable to believe that she's kind and smart and sexy and interested in you and all the things that you would like to see in this other person. And if you think he's really handsome, you're liable to fill in the gaps in your knowledge base with the projection that he's also committed and kind and family-oriented and exciting and generous and all the things that you might be looking for in a partner. Do you understand? Now, in the first few months, while people are generally still projecting their fantasies, they will also work to protect their fantasies. They see signs that things might not be what they appear to be, but because they prefer the fantasy to which they are attracted, they tend to rationalize and minimize these signs early on in the courtship. This is why people will so often ignore even obvious red flags when they are very attracted to another person. But here's the thing. It eventually happens that a preponderance of evidence accumulates, or an unavoidable manifestation of evidence to the contrary presents itself, and the projected fantasy can no longer sustain the assault of reality. This is the crisis of disillusionment. At this point, the fantasy is shattered, the spell is broken, and you begin to see with clear eyes the person who's actually standing in front of you. Now, this probably doesn't mean that this person is bad or evil, or that this person wouldn't be a good partner for you, all things considered. But it is a kind of fall, because no one will be able to live up to your projected fantasy of an ideal partner. And this can be very disappointing and demoralizing for folks, especially those who are most interested in limerence, the feeling of being in love, and who are chasing the romantic ideal of love and partnership. These folks really can't sustain this crisis. But all relationships have to pass through the crisis of disillusionment at some point or another, and the question at this point becomes, okay, now that we kind of know more about who we actually are and what we're actually dealing with, is there enough left for us to build a relationship upon in reality? And there might be and there might not be, but this is when the work of building a shared vision of the future actually begins. Everything up to the crisis of disillusionment is really just a prelude to the actual relationship.
I'm going to end 3 age-old mysteries for you. These are problems that have plagued the human condition for decades, and I'm going to put them to rest right now. Are you ready? The correct position for the toilet seat is down. Toilet paper should absolutely roll from the top, and forks should be placed in the dishwasher with the tines up so they can clean properly. Now, how do I know these facts? How have I solved these great dilemmas of our time? Is it my PhD and 2 master's degrees? I'm a Jew from New York. All we do is go to school, right? Is my PhD in the proper loading of dishwasher cutlery? Is it my over 30 years of working directly with people and counseling them? No. It's because I'm a control freak and I know my way is right. I can also tell you what the correct temperature in my home should be. My man gets that wrong a lot too. And see, there's the problem. My partner doesn't actually agree with all these facts I just laid out. He thinks forks should go in the dishwasher tines down. I know, the fool, right? We both have excellent arguments for the best way to deal with forks, but at the end of the day, I have my side and he has his. And you do this in your relationship. You think there's one right way to drive to your favorite restaurant for dinner. Someone thinks there's too many decorative pillows on your bed. And someone in this room has made the divorce-worthy mistake of taking the knife directly from the peanut butter into the jelly. And you will have epic battles about these small things because at the end of the day, you have your side and your partner has theirs.
Many times, however, it is the result of one or both partners burdening the relationship with the fantasy that it will cure all their personal problems. This belief that a romantic relationship will unlock a life of happiness and fulfillment, the psychiatrist M. Scott Peck called the myth of romantic love. And in this video, we explain how belief in this myth destroys one's capacity to cultivate the healthy and realistic love that sustains fulfilling relationships. For as M. Scott Peck writes, "The myth of romantic love tells us that when we meet the person for whom we are intended, we will be able to satisfy all of each other's needs forever and ever, and therefore live happily forever after in perfect union and harmony. While I generally find that great myths are great precisely because they represent and embody great universal truths, the myth of romantic love is a dreadful lie. As a psychiatrist, I weep in my heart almost daily for the ghastly confusion and suffering that this myth fosters." The myth of romantic love is pervasive in popular culture. Countless shows, movies, plays, books, and songs are centered around the theme of a lost and lonely individual who finds the perfect romantic match, and thereafter experiences a life of happiness and fulfillment. The psychologist James Hollis called this perfect romantic match the magical other, and he suggested that as traditional sources of meaning such as religion, family, and community have eroded, the pursuit of the magical other has intensified, as many people today deify romantic love and view it as the central source of life's meaning. Or as Hollis wrote in the Eden Project, The Search for the Magical Other, "One of the false ideas that drives humankind is the fantasy of the magical other, the notion that there is one person out there who is right for us, a soulmate who will repair the ravages of our personal history, one who will be there for us, who will read our minds, know what we want and meet those deepest needs, a good parent who will protect us from suffering and, if we are lucky, spare us the perilous journey of individuation." Virtually all popular culture is fueled by the search for the magical other.
Taking sides is serious business in relationships. When we take sides like this, we start examining all the things our partners are doing or not doing and comparing it to all the things we're doing, which of course are always more and better. We say things like, you need to pull your weight around here and, pick up some slack. Or, hey, it's your turn to put away the dishes. Do you hear yourself? It's your turn. If you're taking turns in your relationship, I can tell you right now, you're in big trouble. We take turns in games. If you're treating your relationship like a game, it's not good. When we do this, we're keeping score, and we set ourselves and our partners up on opposite teams. And if we're on opposite teams, it means someone's going to win and someone's going to lose. And you're not cheering for their team to win. How do you expect to have a close, trusting relationship when there's this undercurrent of competition? When there's this undercurrent of someone losing, that if you get more of something, I get less. And that's why we say things like, great, you went out with your friends on Friday, so I get to go out with mine on Saturday. Or, oh, I'm so happy you got that promotion at work, I guess I'll just be stuck at home taking care of the kids. We compete for time, money, and emotional resources. But you can't have an intimate, emotionally close relationship based on competition.